When it comes to the Avatar universe, there are many strong female characters, both benders and non-benders. Today we're taking a look at two of the show's most popular characters and finally settling who is the superior bender. You're watching Avatar Discussions, and this is Katara vs. Azula. Both girls are very powerful, no doubt about that, but the question is, who is more powerful? To figure that out, we will be running down the list of their best and worst fights of the entire series. Starting off this battle of the benders, we're going to take a look at one of the first major battles in the series. By this time, Katara had just begun her master training, but was already picking it up very quickly. She quickly extinguished his flames and froze him in a huge sphere of water, but it wasn't enough to hold Zuko captive. He melts the sphere of ice and immediately returns to trying to take Aang. Luckily, with it being a full moon, Katara was able to overpower him again and freeze him in a wall of ice. But as we all know, firebenders grow stronger with the sun, so as the moon was setting and the sun was rising, Zuko was able to overpower and ultimately defeat Katara. Heading into the second season, we see Azula's first fight of the series. After luring her brother onto her ship under the false pretense that he would be returning home, one of her guards slips up and announces that he isn't returning home on free will. This starts a fight between Zuko and Azula. As Zuko fights with his fire daggers, Azula dodges all of his strikes without even bending, showcasing her ability in evasive movement and hand-to-hand fighting. Azula finally bends a shot of her blue fire at Zuko, knocking him down and blurring his vision. As he recovers from the strike, Azula starts to charge up her lightning, and if it weren't for Iroh who redirected her lightning, she would have shocked Zuko, giving her a win to the battle. But before she is able to shoot her lightning, she is thrown overboard, losing this fight. Next, we're looking at one of Katara's shorter fights of Season 2. We see her turn the river itself into a giant wave to knock the swamp monster back, then using water rings to cut its arms and head off. While this fight is again short, it showcases just how powerful Katara's bending really is. Taking a look back at the Fire Nation princess, we see her first one-on-one with Avatar Aang. She quickly starts bending shots of her blue flames at the Avatar, but as expected, he fights back. Much to his surprise, Azula is able to dodge all of his water whips and kick away all of his boulders like it's nothing. When she finally sees her opening, she flips, dodging his rock attack, and sends a wave of bright blue fire at him, through her feet! This knocks him back against the outer wall of Ba Sing Se and leaves him temporarily unconscious. This fight is ended when the slurry pipeline erupts, sending both Azula and the Avatar sliding off down the sides of the drill. So we can't really say who this fight went to, but we can say it continues to prove to us just how agile Azula really is. Fast forward to the middle of the third season, we see one of Katara's final turning points, her fight against Hama. When Hama realizes that Katara is a waterbender, she decides to teach her the special skills of waterbending, including pulling water out of thin air, plant bending, pulling the water out of plants, and you guessed it, bloodbending. When Katara refused to learn bloodbending, Hama used the dark ability on Katara herself. Hama taunted Katara, telling her that it's impossible to escape her grip, and she moved her like a puppet. Katara knew what she had to do to stop Hama, and finally forced herself to bloodbend. Katara took a deep breath and took hold of Hama in a blood grip, and forced her to the ground. After the villagers arrived, they took Hama away, never to be heard from again, giving this win to Katara. The second season, we're going to take a look at one of Azula's bigger fights. While chasing Aang and his friends, Azula tracks Aang down to an old abandoned town in the Earth Kingdom. As she is taunting Aang and preparing for a fight, she is greeted by Zuko. She's stuck in between the prince and the Avatar, both bending at her, but even with it being a 2-on-1, she's able to keep up, and send flames right back at the two of them. When Azula turns to take on Zuko, Aang takes the opportunity to sneak off, but Azula catches up to him quickly. As he tries to climb away, Azula knocks him down, and is set to take him out. As she sets to charge up for a lightning attack, Katara sneaks up behind her and hits her down, allowing Aang to sneak out. From here, she has to face off against Aang, Katara, and Sokka, all of which are putting their full force into fighting her. Yet Azula is able to defend herself from all of them. That is until Toph shows up and knocks her off her feet, along with Zuko being backup, and with Iroh ready to fight. Azula is now concerned, 6-1, and she cleverly thinks of a way out. She sends a blue flame at Iroh when he isn't looking. The rest of the 5 attacks her simultaneously, but she protects herself in a ball of her flames, and she disappears off to the side, getting away unscathed. While this fight is neither win nor lose, this fight is another prime example that Azula uses her brain and agility along with her bending when she gets in a sticky situation. As we start to wrap up this video, we want to look at two very important fights that show us just how strong these two girls are. The very first time we see Katara and Azula fight one-on-one is during the season finale, The Crossroads of Destiny. It starts off with Katara using her bending to throw Azula off balance, taking hold of her leg and arm. Zuko, however, breaks this hold and Azula goes after Aang. With a few quick fire blasts, Azula has Aang down and goes back after Katara, knocking her unconscious. Aang and Katara are both back to fighting Azula and Zuko, but are quickly surrounded by Dai Li agents. Aang finally takes the Guru's advice and is able to enter the Avatar state, but his victory is short-lived when Azula shoots him in the back with lightning, cutting off his connection to the Avatar state. Katara then takes Aang and makes a getaway, leaving this fight in favor of Azula. What is said to be the #1 fight in the Avatar universe, the final Agni Kai. After shooting Zuko near the heart with a strike of lightning, Katara rushes in to heal him but is cut off by Azula, who is rapidly shooting lightning at her. Azula then takes the high ground and starts to blast Katara with her signature blue fire, causing Katara to run. Katara hides behind a post nearby before gathering the water from the palace fountain and sending it bolting at where she thought Azula was, but to Katara's surprise, Azula isn't there. Before Katara has time to reach, Azula is using her fire in a sense of jet propulsion, making herself fly behind Katara in an attempt to get the edge on her. Finally, Azula bends a very large amount of fire at Katara, knocking her to the side. She sees that there is water in the drains beneath her, and looks up to see a chain. She thinks quickly, and as Azula approaches her, she moves onto the drain, Azula following, and pulls the water up, suspending the two in ice. Katara is able to unfreeze herself and chain Azula down to the gated drain, and drop the water around them. Azula then realizes she has been defeated, and lets out a loud, heart-wrenching sob. Katara is able to heal Zuko, and with the defeat of Azula, this win goes to Katara. Both of these benders are truly legendary, but now it's time to pick our winner. We know everybody may not like it, but the winner of today's bender battle is Katara. Not only was she a large factor in the end of the war and rebuilding of the Avatar world, but her wins and bending simply outweigh those of Azula. We don't want to minimize Azula's abilities, she was an amazing character all around.
Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player.
But Katara's bending is incomparable. We know some of you aren't going to be happy about it, but we want you to tell us why you think Katara or Azula is a better bender. Let us know below in the comments. Did you like this video? Be sure to let us know by hitting the red subscribe button and tapping the little bell to get notified every time we post new content. Thanks for watching, and stay flamin'!